episode of Musical Chairs with me, Cheer Up Charlie. And today we have another amazing guest, the wonderful, the man who's so famous, he got a ride on the Starlight Express. And he needed a lot of hairspray for it. And oh, what a night it was. You'd have been dancing in the streets if you saw it. He's Adrian Hansel, everybody! Woo, 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 woo!
That was very good. That's the best intro I've ever had.
So if you're ready, we can get right into the questions.
Let's do it.
What started off your love for musical theatre?
Well, luckily for me, my mum took me to a musical when I was very, very young. And it wasn't really something we was exposed to because I didn't live in London. But it's a very special treat, and I saw a musical called Time at the Dominion where We Will Rock You was for a long time, and I think Battle of Hell was there, and now Prince of Egypt is there. But I saw this show when I was very, very, very young, and there was just something about being in the room with so many people that was experiencing the same thing, and the live music and just hearing the live voices. I was always into like sort of TV and film and entertainment and music. I was always a huge fan of music and singers, but there's something about being in the theatre that it's live, it's happening right now. Everyone's experiencing the same thing at the same time, and that was when I kind of first saw something where I was like, it just made me feel excited and interested, and I just thought this is something that I would love to do. I always sung just for myself, but I didn't know it could be something which I could do as a job until I kind of saw that musical, and I was like, I would love to do this. So it was when I was very young, probably you know, a lot like yourself, I imagine, the first time you saw a musical.
Yeah, I was gonna say that reminds me a lot of when I was 7, and I absolutely loved The Lion King the movie, the animated movie, and I always used to watch it. And my first ever singing exam I did, I Just Can't Wait to Be King.
Perfect.
And basically we went into London one day as a treat, like you, and as a surprise, Mum and Dad took us to see The Lion King on West End.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, so and I don't think it was then and there that I finally learnt that I wanted to be part of the theatre, but I think that's what started like my love for it and made me start enjoying it.
Exactly.
So the more I speak and research, the more I realise that the arts training is not cheap. I already see the sacrifices my parents make for me. Where did you do your professional training, and do you think more needs to be done to help with this, with those with immense talents get the training they deserve?
It's hard. I think, you know, I do think there is quite a lot that people are doing which you can do. Obviously, you know, there could always be more. I sort of went to just a Saturday morning once a week sort of drama school called Red Roof's Theatre School, which was in Maidenhead, just outside London.
I actually used to go there.
Oh, yeah. So I used to go there sort of every Saturday, and then everyone at the school was like, oh, maybe you should come full time because I know that you like to sing and like to dance. We do everything here. So I did, and luckily for me, they said, well, any auditions we get you and any jobs that you get, it can go towards the school fees. And luckily for me, I auditioned quite a lot at school and worked quite a lot while I was there, and everything I earned just went straight to the school. So that's kind of how I afforded it. Then I left and went to a really big dance college called London Studio Centre, which is a sort of dance performing arts college. They do drama, singing, acting. And yeah, it's very expensive. It's something I never could have gone to if I didn't have any support, because it was just too expensive from where I was from and, you know, what my family earned. But luckily I got some help from the Prince's Trust, which is a charity. Yeah. And I also auditioned for like a grant, like a sort of a scholarship. Yeah. And luckily I got that. So that was really helpful for me. So I do think it's really important for anyone that's interested in the profession or interested in wanting to carry on their training, just research. You know, the colleges do scholarships, they do half scholarships, they do full scholarships. There's local government sort of grants, there's the Prince's Trust. There is quite a lot out there, so it's just a case of applying for everything and you know, really looking into it. But also saying that there are some examples, there are some people that, you know, don't necessarily go to a huge, you know, expensive dance school.
Yeah.
I do think that if you've got a passion and a love and you are talented and it's something that you want to do, I do think that it's possible for you to get there. It might be slightly harder, you know, but there's a few people that I know that haven't had sort of like full training, you know, 3 times a week, 4 times a week after school or on a weekend. So it is possible, but you know, it's obviously better if you can try and do a full sort of like full training, because it helps so much. So I was quite lucky, but there is things out there for you to research and do.
What was your first big break?
It's hard. I kind of, my first West End professional paid sort of like contract West End show, I got actually while I was at school, and I think I was 12, and I did maybe 5 shows a week for maybe 4 or 5 months. But sort of as an adult, my first big break was I got the lead in a musical called Fame. And it was on at the Prince of Wales Theatre, where Book of Mormon is now. But I was there years and years ago, and that's my first sort of like break. It was, you know, it was a lead role. It was in the West End. It was a show that everyone really enjoyed. It was a show that a lot of people wanted to do, and yeah, it was great. It was a huge break for me, and because of that show, I was sort of seen by quite a lot of people and sort of seen by more casting people, and I ended up sort of doing a lot of shows after that, probably, you know, due to that show. So that's my first like big sort of break, where sort of people sort of started to know who I was and what I was doing, and it was a really good time. I really enjoyed that show. It was a really fun show.
Can imagine. So you were on the amazing Remembering Fred tour with one of my favourite dancers from Strictly, Aliage.
Yay!
How was it to perform as a vocalist on that?
That was a brilliant one, because that was something that I've not really thought about before. It sort of came out the blue. I was obviously a huge fan of Strictly, a huge fan of dancers, because I just think it's an incredible talent. You know, I dance a bit, but there's a difference between, you know, moving and dancing a bit to, you know, like intense, amazing sort of dancers. And then, you know, ballroom and Strictly is a totally different profession and discipline in itself. So when that came along, I was like, yeah, like, you know, that'd be a fantastic thing to do. And it was just made so much better by the fact it was such a great show. The cast of dancers were incredible. There was a director called Gareth Walker. He's done so much stuff, and he directed it and choreographed the show. And, you know, he believed in me and thought, you know, that my voice would lend really well to the show. I met Ali Ash and Jeanette, and they were both fantastic, professional, very friendly, very, very good fun, but very professional. And I had one other singer called Miranda, who I was singing with, and I enjoyed it. And I would do it again. It was just such a beautiful show, and also so lucky to like watch them dance every night. And I even got to sing a duet with Ali Ash, which was fun. And, you know, it was quite nice to sort of like take him out of his comfort zone, because obviously he's an amazing dancer. So he ended up singing as well, and we sort of helped each other, and it was a really, really, really good show. And, you know, the shows that they do put on are fantastic. So if they're ever in town, I'll try and catch them, because they're really, really good.
Yeah. You got to play Seaweed in Hairspray with Michael Ball and then go on tour with him. How special was that?
That was, you know, Hairspray was definitely a moment. You know, I've been quite lucky to have quite a few moments, but Hairspray was a good one because, you know, it was in talks. It was rumoured that it was going to come over for a long time, and also be part of an original West End cast is always fantastic. So, but obviously, we didn't really know who was in it. So I got cast in the show with Seaweed J Stubbs, which was just, you know, amazing in itself. And then the casting came out, and there was Tracy Bennett and Mel Smith, and obviously Michael Ball. And, you know, Michael Ball's like a legend. So it just couldn't have got any better, but that show did. And then we performed for the Queen, and we did the Olivier Awards, and we did different TVs, and it was just a really, really good time. It's a fantastic cast, and it was great to learn from the likes of, you know, Michael Ball himself. And I was very lucky that after Hairspray, obviously Michael Ball releases albums and singles, and he goes on tour like all over. Europe and the world and the UK. And you know, as generous as he is, he sort of brought some singers out with him to sort of do some guest singing and also sort of backing him on all his big numbers. So I got to go on tour on one of Michael Ball's, like, so I think I did maybe 4 or 5 in the end, like sort of every 18 months or sort of every 2 years. And again, it was just brilliant. He's just such a lovely person, very generous. He's a superstar. He's the best at what he does. And it was like retraining. Like I did my training, did shows, did loads of shows, then went on tour with Michael, and it was like relearning again, because he's just great. And again, really good fun, but very, very professional. And I really like him, and he's a fantastic person.
Yeah, so you sing for so many other people. When are you going to do the Adrian Hansel show? And plus, if you ever needed a child backing singer,
there's only one person.
I wouldn't even need the pay. Just saying.
Well, don't say that all the time, because there comes a point where, you know, the pay is good. But it's quite funny, because actually during this lockdown, I've done quite a few interviews, and there have been quite a few people saying, so when are you going to do, when are you going to do, when are you going to do? And, you know, a lot of my friends do it, you know, like Louise Dearman and Oliver Thompson, and, you know, I've got quite a few friends who do it, and I love going to them. And my friend Ben Forster's done some huge ones. And I was asked a few years ago to do a couple, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. And I kind of thought about it, and then I sort of let it go and sort of forgot about it. So it is something I probably will do. I'll probably do it off the back of, you know, if I do, God willing, another show, then yeah, I'd probably think about doing sort of like, you know, just, you know, I don't know, something small, something quite intimate. But I think it'd be quite cool to maybe do a sort of a small concert and have some of my friends come with me and do a couple of bits. So it is something I'll be thinking about, because I've been asked quite a few times now. So I don't know who will come. Maybe nobody, just you and me.
Oh no, I'm sure a lot of people would come to the Adrian Hansel show.
Thank you.
So, I met you last year when you became part of #CheerUpCharlie secret project. Watch this space.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, it was born due to the bullying I received for my love of dance and song, particularly because I do not fit the stereotype of what a boy should do. How do you think you can change the negative behaviour that seems to evolve from the playground?
Yeah, it's a tough one, because I think a lot of people go through different things for all different reasons. And, you know, annoyingly and unfortunately, it shouldn't be, but it is a part of growing up to a certain extent. It isn't a part of growing up to be bullied, you know, or to be hit or anything like that. That's definitely an absolute, that should never ever happen. You know, but people are different, and, like, you know, are interested in different things, and, you know, it's all part of life, and, you know, part of growing up. And what I would say is, just don't stop. How dare you stop something that you love, be it a sport, be it swimming, ballet, tap, singing? You know, people are interested in so many different things. You know, you might be really into maths, you might be really into dinosaurs. Like, if that's a passion and it makes you happy solely, my advice would be never to stop, because as hard as it can be, it definitely gets better. It always gets better. And if you stop because of someone else, you'll get older, and maybe it couldn't be a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Those people that said those things to you, you won't know. You probably won't ever see them again. And you've stopped doing what you've loved because of someone that you don't really know. And they're living their life, carrying on, and you've stopped your love for something, and probably doing something else because of maybe what someone said. Like, never. It's a passion, it's a gift. You know, some people don't have any passions or, you know, or gifts, or they don't really know what they want to do. And if that's what you want to do, you know, you might not want to do it forever, and that's fine as well. But as long as you are enjoying it and you do want to do it, keep doing it, because there are thousands of people, well, which you've now learned, that like the same thing as you. Loads of people. And I think that's been quite apparent through this whole #CheerUpCharlie, because I'm sure there was a part of you that thought, am I the only person that likes this? Am I the only boy that wants to do this? Am I the only boy that wants to sing? Am I the only boy that wants to dance? Like, maybe didn't have friends at that time that did the same thing as you. because it's a special thing that you have. But now you've learned that there's obviously myself and Daniel Boys and all these loads of hundreds of people, Michael Ball, that are behind you. So, oh no, I do that as well. I enjoy that as well. So just never stop doing what you have a passion for.
Yeah. Have you ever suffered any form of bullying, either as a child or in the industry?
I got to say, I think I've been quite lucky. I don't think I really have. And a tiny bit, oddly, when I was quite lucky because I went to theatre school, so I was surrounded by people like me straight away from a quite young age. So, like I said, I went to theatre school every week. I think when I was maybe 11 or 12, and then I went to an actual theatre school. So, luckily, I was surrounded by people that had the same interests as me. But before that, I didn't really have any bullying from like kids, but I sort of did have a bit of a hard time with teachers. I think it was because I was quite passionate about the drama side of things and the singing, and I went to stage school like just once a week in the beginning, and I sort of did a few commercials and a few TV work, and I got a West End show, so some days I wasn't at school, and the teachers kind of found that a little bit quite hard, and they kind of gave me a bit of a hard time because I was doing a show like in the West End, and so that was quite difficult. But again, I was quite lucky because at a young age I was surrounded with other young boys and girls that were interested in theatre and singing, so I kind of maybe missed that part of being, in a school where there was no one doing what I did, because I went to a school where everyone was doing what I did, and that kind of helped. Industry-wise, luckily, no. I'd love to say, and from my experience, it is quite a safe place to be. The theatre, and if you do come up with any kind of like bullying or something that makes you feel uncomfortable with anything, number one, you tell family, and then secondly, you tell people that you're working with or teachers, and it's something that you should never not tell someone, regardless of what it is. And sometimes there could be some times where they might have not have meant it, or it might have been a joke. But if that joke or something that they said they didn't mean to hurt you has hurt you and making you feel a certain way, you're always allowed to say, oh well, I appreciate your joke, but that actually made me feel quite upset or sad, and always tell someone. But luckily, especially in the industry, in the theatre, no, everyone's, I think 99.9% of the time, people are quite friendly, and we all come from the same kind of place, and it's a hard journey sometimes. So once you get there and you're doing a show, I think people are quite happy to be there, and I'm sure some people do have some things, and I'm sure they have along the lines, but generally not really. So I've been quite lucky like that.
If you could give yourself some advice as a child, knowing what you know now as an adult, what would it be?
Probably to don't be upset or beat yourself up over something that you can't do. Not every part is for you. Not every song is for you. Not every, dance step is for you. And I think when I was younger, I'd sort of give myself a hard time about maybe, hitting certain notes or certain dance moves, and sort of getting very upset about maybe not getting an audition. And what I know now is that sometimes it isn't always about, it's just about, wow, you've got a great voice, but it just doesn't sit in this particular role, or we think you're great, but we want someone who's an amazing tapper. And I can dance, but I can't tap. I've never been able to tap. I've tried, but I can't do it. So, I could be right vocally for something, but then if I have to tap, then it's not personal. It's not because they don't like me. It's like, well, we just need someone else with different skills. And then you'll go and see the show that you were auditioned for, and you'll see the person, you'll be like, oh, they're fantastic. No, they're right for the role. So it's just a case of it's hard in the beginning, and it's hard when you're younger. But it's just a case of dusting yourself off, picking yourself up, and carrying on. Like, you're not going to get every part. You're not going to be great at everything, but you can try your hardest, and that's all you can do.
Yeah. So, what is still left for you to do as a performer?
Oh well, luckily from what we do, there's always something. So I've been quite lucky. I've ticked quite a lot of boxes. I've sort of travelled. I've toured. I've done West End shows. I've toured with other singers. So yeah, there's a few things. You know, the good thing about our industry is that you don't really know what's around the corner, and as scary that is for some people. Like for us, it's quite interesting because we're sat here now, and there's, you know, obviously, you know, shows at the minute aren't up and running, but a few shows are starting. But you know, when things are back to normal, which they will be, an announcement will come up and they said, oh, you know, this show's coming to London, and no one would have known that's coming, and then that's an exciting thing. And then the next show, or then the next sort of like concert. So you never know what's sort of around the corner. So I just keep myself open and positive, and, you know, just see what happens. But as long as I'm kind of doing what I'm doing, I'm kind of happy. So yeah.
So now for some funny questions. This is where my fun happens. Do you still get told off for something in particular? Because mine never stop talking or singing or jumping about.
Do you know what? I think probably the same. Like, what do I do that's like, yeah, I'm really bad at like singing along to any song and like, but making it into a harmony. But it can be a theme tune to a cartoon, or it can be a soap opera. It can be like EastEnders, and without even knowing it, I'll just be like, you know, singing along to it, and like everyone's just be like, Adrian, like, can I hold, sorry, or humming away to something. And I always kind of find like I never sing the tune, I always like find the harmony. Yeah, and sometimes people can be like, shut up, you know. So yeah. That.
Yeah. I can just imagine you doing a harmony to the Home and Away theme tune.
Yeah, things like that. It's really, I'm so annoying. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Have you got any embarrassing moments that you would much rather forget, but you know you never will?
Oh, of course. Who hasn't? You know, again, I think the difference between you know, people in theatre and people that work in maybe the office is that we're a lot more open to things that can go wrong. It's live theatre, so we have our lines, we have our choreography, we have our music, we have technical issues, we have microphones, we have other actors we're playing against. There's so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
But luckily it's live, and again, you know, you can't really get upset over it. You know, you get to do it again the next night, and not every night will be brilliant for you. But there's like so many. I've like fluffed up lines before. I've forgotten words to really famous songs. One of the most embarrassing was when I was in Hairspray. I split my trousers really badly, and it was at a point where I couldn't go off either. I had to stay on, so I had to kind of. The audience was obviously in front of me, but I couldn't turn around because I had a massive split down my trousers. So I had to like just walk like sideways like a crab the whole time. So no one, but then my castmates and my friends behind me were like giggling, they were laughing, they were like, you've got a hole in your trousers, you know, and I just had to keep a straight face and kind of, you know, because, you know, the audience can never know if something's gone wrong, or, you know, if people are laughing, they can never know because, you know, they've come to the show, they've come to see the same show, they've paid their money. So it's really important to keep professional, but yeah, splitting my trousers. Or there's another point where I think I was doing Run and Tell That in Hairspray, and I jumped off the record box doing a split jump, and I landed and my shoe was half off, and it was flapping as I was like running around, and you know, that was quite annoying. But I couldn't just stop and just go, wait a second, everybody, do my shoelace up. Obviously you can't do that, so I had to carry on and pretend it wasn't happening. But all I was thinking was like, my shoe is going to fly off into the audience now and land in someone's ice cream.
What is your most disgusting habit that no one until today knows about? And there are some really bad ones coming out now.
This is a hard interview. Oh my goodness. Disgusting habits. Disgusting habits. I don't know, I have got a bit of a disgusting habit. I quite enjoy like cheese that's past its sell by date, or can be a bit hard and not very nice. I have been known to keep it and like nibble it at night, which is disgusting because it's off.
No, because generally cheese that's
past there are some cheeses which you know, that's right for, but there's some cheeses really need to be thrown away.
Yeah, like
and then
cheeses that have like all the fruits in them. Can't really go past the sell-by date. But if it's like a block of cheddar or a block of red Leicester, and you let that go past the sell-by date, it'll just get stronger, really.
That's what I think, but not everyone thinks that way. And also, the smell's not great. And I think I can't be the only person that does this. And if I am, I'll be really upset. But I have got a really bad habit of like picking my toenails off. But instead of like putting them in the bin straight away, I'll like pick them all off and just keep them on the side like for the whole evening, the whole night. Just like, just leave them there. I do bin them at the end, by the way, everybody. But that's a pretty bad. I've had some friends who are like, if you do that, first of all, do it in the bathroom, and then second of all, put them straight in the bin. But I'll kind of sit there watching TV, pick them, leave them on the sofa until I go to bed. That's pretty disgusting.
That's a mix of two people from other interviews' disgusting habits.
Well, maybe we should get together and have a toe picking party.
So now's for a round of quickfire questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Chocolate or Haribo?
Chocolate.
Text or talk?
Text.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Favourite city?
Sydney.
Last song downloaded?
Mariah Carey, Save the Day.
Favourite place to eat?
The Ivy Brasserie.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, maybe once lockdown is over, maybe we can go eat there. We can go have a meal.
That may happen. I may treat you.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Superpower.
Sorry?
Superpower.
Flying.
First celebrity crush.
Oh, you wouldn't know the person, but a singer in the 80s called Tiffany. She sang a song called I Think We're Alone Now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. That was my first celebrity crush.
On the radio. I'm always hearing that on the radio, but I've never really
That was my first celebrity crush.
Harry Potter house.
Gryffindor.
And now's for a tongue twister, and I hope your tongue's not in a knot.
Oh my God, I've not done anything for a while. I've been in lockdown.
That's what everyone says. I would have thought that all the West End and Broadway and TV stars would all be absolutely amazing at them.
Oh, we're terrible.
We've all been terrible at them.
We're awful. We're awful at tongue twisters and we're awful at scales.
All right, so repeat after me and then go on your own. If you want to, you can write it down on your phone or a piece of paper or something.
Oh God, I'm nervous. Okay, wait. Okay, go for it.
How can a clam?
How can a clam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cram.
Cram.
In.
Yeah.
A.
Mm-hmm.
Clean.
Clean.
Yep. Cream.
Oh, cream.
Clean
how can
cream.
a clam cram in a cream?
In a clean cream can.
In a clean cream.
Yeah.
Can.
Can.
Can. Oh my God. God, I'm not doing very well, am I? Okay, wait. Let me just read it through once. How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? Is that it right?
Yes.
Oh. How can a you've really put me on the spot here. Right. How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? How many times do we need to say it?
4.
4. Okay, let's go. Right, this is it now.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? I'm terrible. I'm embarrassed. How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? How can a clam cram in a clean can? How can a clam cram in a clean can?
You got most of that wrong, but it sealed the deal with the harmony.
Thank you.
Very, very good. Very, very good. So, wasn't that another amazing episode of Musical Chairs with Cheer Up Charlie? Oh, Adrian, you managed to get through the interview.
I did. Thank you very much. And well done to you.
Congratulations.
So good. Very good.
So thank you so much. It was the amazing interviewing and awesome.
Thank you.
In other words. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye, Adrian.
See you very soon. Special project.
Yep, hashtag secret project. Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, Adrian. So wasn't that another amazing video? I know, right? So cool. So, if you want more videos like that, then remember to like and subscribe. And when you subscribe, turn on that notifications button. Woo!